I want to take you out to some dramatic images from Southern California as crews battle a fire in Ventura County. Let's take you out to this and their coverage here on Live Now from Fox.
We did hear some chatter, too, that for some of these firefighters, not with their water tankers, but some of the firefighters are realizing that the water pressure is not as high as they would like. And so they've actually put out an order to get the water company to open up the valves more fully so that they can have the kind of water that they need to fight this fire. So it looks as if these firefighters here are assessing the situation. Do you think this house is a goner? Someone earlier said it was.
We're just doing what we can to make sure to prevent any fire from getting to the structure. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it dies down and then it kicks up again. So
as case in point.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to get back to doing what I'm doing.
Thank you, sir. So there you have it, Christine. So we're right in the thick of it, and we see them coming back and forth. And I'm not a professional, but I'd be like unable to figure out the best way to protect this property. And as I said, this is just one on this narrow lane off of Avocado. The home seems to be evacuated, so no one is in the house, but we do see people have lifted their garage doors and given access to the firefighters, left their gates open or what have you, so that the units can make it down here. But honestly, I've covered wildfires for my entire career here at Fox 11, and I've never been in a situation where I thought I had to wear a helmet and wear all of the protective gear that was only just issued to us recently. So it really is quite a remarkable situation. I'll send it back to you at this point, Christine,
Susan,
and Marla.
And Alex here too, Susan. Sometimes when we see these every few years, these firestorms that are so bad that there's so much happening that the fire department can only go so far and do so much, and they basically have to triage and let some stuff burn. Is that basically what's happening here?
Yeah, sorry. We're just, I'm the only one operating with the ability to hear you, Alex.
Okay.
So, yes, you were saying that every couple of years we have this kind of firestorm. You're absolutely correct. But, I've covered the Woolsey fire. I've covered, over the course of my career, lots of wildfires. But this one with the winds raging, and I guess maybe because of where we are,
we may have lost.
Burning, and they're still smoldering now. There's just so much material that is flying through the air, and it's putting the firefighters at risk. Oh, and that's the other thing. I came out and immediately put on the N95 mask, okay? And then typically you look at the firefighters and they don't bother because they've been around this kind of stuff so much. They're not worried about the smoke. But in this incident, right now, when we're talking about right in this moment, everyone I see, all the firefighters are putting at least some kind of respirator on or something to protect their lungs. So that's how severe the situation is here. As Justin gives you another look at the firefighters coming out from behind yet another house. This is the back end of this street. So this is I guess it's not really a cul-de-sac, but it's just sort of like this is where the properties end. There's two properties here.
Susan, as we're looking at this, and Justin's camera there is all marked up right now with scenes from that fire there, I'm wondering, are you getting the sense that everybody in this area has evacuated?
Yeah, I talked to some other people. They were on San Miguel, so really a couple of streets farther north of where we are, north and a little east. And they were told that they could stay in their homes, that they had gone past that point where there was an evacuation order for them to leave. So they were staying put, and they were watering their gardens or roofs, anything to keep the area moist as the wind kept blowing, and they could see that there was so much smoke in other areas. But again, as we make our way, this is another property now that we're looking at, and we've got this firefighter well, there's one firefighter who's tending to a palm tree that's smoldering. Let me get closer to where Justin is now. We've got a number of firefighters back here. This is CAL FIRE back here. They arrived not long after Santa Barbara County as they try to figure out. What's the situation here?
72.
Like how I think it's crazy, but you're the professional, so tell me.
So right now we're getting a really good handle on it. We're in a neighborhood area. We have more resources from outside the area from our partnering agencies, and we're able to secure to the water system so we can throw a lot of water down so we can start saving these homes, and they're doing it all over this area.
That's good news. At one point I heard that the water pressure wasn't strong enough. Is that true? Did you encounter that?
Well, there were certain areas where the water pressure is a little low, but we work with our great partners here in the city of Camarillo, and they're able to boost the pressure for us, and we're able to make a great fire attack.
Okay, so you'll be able to protect this home right here.
Yeah, I'm working with Santa Barbara County, CAL FIRE, and Ventura County. We're here going to be protecting this neighborhood, watching that hot spot down below.
Do you have any idea how many homes are in danger right now?
I do not. I'm in the ground. You're going to need to talk to our PIO at Ventura County Fire.
Captain, what's your name?
Captain Brian McGrath.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah. Okay, so then there you heard it. And he's not the only one that told me that they don't really have a full sense of how many homes and structures may be at risk, but because they're just doing the job, right? There's somebody who's probably doing a tally, but the guys that are here, the firefighters, men and women that are here on the ground, they just want to, like, watch out for that active flame or something that's smoldering and make sure that they do something, as he says, put a lot of water on it to make sure that it then doesn't go and endanger or worse somebody's beautiful home. You know, and we have often talked about defensible space, and it seems as if this house had the defensible space, but when you've got this kind of weather condition where the winds are blowing and the embers and smoke are just flying everywhere, that's when you have the situation where these spot fires can start up, and there's just so much burning material that it just doesn't take very much to get to this point.
Susan, we thank you. We'll let you, figure out more of what's going on in that neighborhood. I'm glad to hear they seem to have a better handle on it, more resources. But Skyfox is over this property that has obviously been demolished. As we zoom in here, we've seen that. We've heard at least 20 homes have gone up in flames as a result of the mountain fire that started about 5 hours ago as just a small brush fire. The problem is it jumped the 118 freeway, and so that's why it's impacting the Camarillo Heights neighborhood, or area, I should say. And the wind, this is where the high wind warning is in effect. The temperature is just around room temperature, 72 degrees, but those winds are gusting pretty good, and we know that wind is the #1 source. Stu Mandel, you're up in Skyfox. You're zooming in to see this a pretty amazing home down below that's now caught on fire.
Oh, that's right. This is one of the homes. We've been up here for quite a while. This home we actually saw has smoke, just a little smoke coming out of the eaves earlier on, coming back to check on it, and now it really is starting to catch fire. There's going to be more than 20 homes. We counted 20 homes in just one neighborhood that's in this Camarillo Heights area. This portion that we're looking at right here, this doesn't even count with those 20 homes, and you can see some of these houses leveled out here, others of them still burning. And of course the fire department, they are pushed to the limit. Their resources very, very thin. So they make their way out here and they just kind of do an assessment. Is this home worth saving? Can we save this one? There's actual vehicles out here as well. This one with a trailer. This really kind of worries me. This is looks like somebody was actually trying to leave or trying to make an effort to get something, and then their vehicle caught fire. We do know that there were injuries out here as well. Going to get a little bit wider. Maybe the picture not as pretty because we're going to look at a spot that where through the smoke, but this is that neighborhood that we were talking about earlier on. This is where we counted 20 homes in this area that were leveled earlier this afternoon when that fire just jumped the 118, got into the Camarillo area, and this is the urban side of the fire. Earlier on when it started, it was in a very agricultural area. There were homes out there, or there are homes out there, but not like this. These are actual neighborhoods out here, and completely, some of these homes leveled this afternoon, and that fire just hopscotching around, and it's all being pushed by those winds, these crazy winds that we're having. And this is one of those ones where you can really see it. The house right here, leveled. That fire's probably been burning maybe for an hour or more. The house next door, standing. Nothing, even a house in the back that is under construction. So that's just bare wood, and it is fine. This is the type of situations that the firefighters are dealing with. The helicopters, we are watching them make water drops. There's some of these are contract helicopters that aren't even owned by the city. That one right there, we've been watching pretty much all afternoon. This little guy's been doing a lot of work. They can't pick up a lot of water, but coming in and doing these little precision drops, saving properties, and that's all they can really do. Hopefully everybody's made their way out of these neighborhoods, but as far as looking at these homes that have burned, it is sad to see all this fire, and of course knowing that these are homes that people live in, and hopefully everybody got out, and not just the people but the pets. Going to move along. The winds actually have kind of changed and make these shots easier for us to do, because for a while there the winds, this is what actually brought the fire into this neighborhood. We're kind of moving from the south, from the west to the south, and that's what brought the flames here. But now the winds are actually changing up once again, and now we can actually see that devastation, which is sad. Look at that. You got counting 1, 2, 3, 4 homes here on this cul-de-sac, 5 on the other side, all gone. So all those neighbors, they probably all know each other. Now they're coming back to leveled homes. It is devastating to see, and again, what can they do to fight it? Like I heard him say, I think it was Susan said it earlier on, we've been doing brush fires here for a very long time. This one is very devastating, and it was so fast moving this morning, those winds just whipping through here, and the spot fires. This was really a textbook, something that firefighters are going to watch and try to learn from, how quickly that fire just spotted from here to here to here, and then made its way into this neighborhood.
We thank you so much for that wider perspective. Such a devastating loss there in the Camarillo Heights area. Haley Winslow is on the ground. Let's go back to Haley now. How are things now? Because it was quite chaotic when we last saw you.
Yeah, it is still pretty chaotic, but we're a little bit away from the chaos right now. It is blowing, I would say, at least 45-mile-per-hour gusts every once in a while. We've got LA City Fire, LA County Fire, Ventura County Fire, all working on these few homes right here on Garrido Street that we showed you a few minutes ago. They are completely engulfed in flames. There's not much left. One of the houses has a couple of chimneys left. The other one has just a base, a base structure. That's it. Everything else is gone. Obviously, they're trying to keep the fire in these winds away from the houses next door. This one's still in great condition next door, this blue and white house, but it is right next to the fire that completely engulfed and total loss the home next door. So we're going to get you a closer look at this. It's very hard to see. Obviously, these fine particles, really, really hard to breathe. I don't know how these firefighters do it, but issue here. It is, we heard one lady earlier talking about how her house was shaking. And the sad thing is, like we told you earlier, a lot of people went to work this morning and didn't get a chance to come back and get their things. So we haven't seen anybody. Everybody who was here is gone. It's just us and the firefighters. So we're going to get a closer look to show you this. Right on the other side of those trees where the Ventura fire truck is parked, that's the house at 1065 Garrido Street that is completely gone. And then the one next door, 1067 Garrido Street, is a complete loss as well. That's the one that only has 2 chimneys left. So you can see the firefighters working as hard as they can. There's not a whole lot they can do with these homes, but they're, of course, trying to protect the houses all around it.
Haley Winslow, we wish you and your photographer, Sam Dubin, safety as you deal with these very treacherous conditions out there. If you're just joining us, we're now in the 2 o'clock hour. We are interrupting your regularly scheduled programming for special Fox 11 breaking news coverage of a massive wildfire that has been destructive for Ventura County. Multiple homes already burned, several people injured. This is the mountain fire in the Moorpark area. I'm Alex Michelson with Christine Devine, and Marla Tea is here with special coverage. We did days of special coverage of the Dodgers in the World Series, days of special coverage of the election, and now we move into what will likely be days of special coverage of a massive wildfire. And Marla, this fire weather is not letting up anytime soon.
No, we were warned. In fact, as we zoom into this home here that has just gone up in flames, we were warned about the high winds. This is where a high wind warning is in effect, at least by our own crews count. At least 20 homes have been destroyed. We have a view from Skyfox, and we have a couple of crews on the ground as well. So home after home, and those flames easily being spread by those high winds out there. The firefighters, Christine, all hands on deck, because it started with Ventura County. We've seen CAL FIRE out there, LA County Fire out there, and even Santa Barbara County coming down from the north to help with those firefighters.
You know, basically no rest for the weary with all the things that have been happening here in Southern California, the good, the bad, the elections, now these fires. We knew that there were going to be wind issues today, and to see this move so drastically, so quickly, as Stu Mendel said, is quite shocking. We have our Susan here on the ground there to bring us quite the perspective. Susan.
Well, Christine, we're in at a property just next door from where we were once before. You see Santa Barbara County Fire here now at this property. And what's really remarkable is the homeowner is still here, and he was directing the firefighters to try to take out some of these spot fires. I tried to talk with him, but apparently he doesn't speak much English. But he was sort of pointing to a lot of the active flame that is surrounding his property. Now, he's got a pretty good defensible space. He's got a lot of concrete patio between the gully and where the home is. But you see there how close the fire got. It already sort of did some damage to the exterior of the home. There's also an RV nearby. It is singed as well. But they're doing a good job of trying to keep the fire from getting to this house and the structure of the house. But I do find it really remarkable that the man who lives here, apparently, he confirmed to me that he is the homeowner. He's walking around with a bottle of water, and that's it. He does not have any protective gear on. Every once in a while, he'll get a little too close to the flame and the smoke, and then it's clear it's affecting him. But he's staying out here, I think, a man who just wants to make sure that his property is protected. But this is really representative of how there was a lot of brush and combustible matter that was just not that far away, sort of borders these homes, and as soon as it catches fire, then that puts the homes in danger as well. But yeah, it is. Again, I've said this already, but the weather conditions are what makes this so remarkable. There are gusts of winds that can literally buffet me to the point where I think I'm going to fall down. And then they'll go away. Then the gusts will go away or they'll diminish. Same with the smoke. Sometimes the smoke is so heavy you can't see the sky, and then suddenly it'll die down a little, it'll be tempered a little bit, and you'll see bright blue, beautiful sky that is just beyond the smoke. Now, I can hear, but I cannot see that there's some kind of helicopter coming our way, perhaps to give some air support. We've seen at least one helicopter that dropped water nearby to try to get a palm tree, a little grove of palm trees. But you see, as this firefighter continues to put water on the situation. And, you know, in this world where people do double duty, Justin recognized that his fire hose was getting caught up on something. So Justin, the photographer, decided to lean down and pull the fire hose in order to make sure that this firefighter had full access to the water that will make the difference between a singed home and a burned down home. So that's where we are right now. Again, just like one property over from where we were prior, just off of Avocado Lane. There are about, I think, 6 homes in all on the street. And I believe every single one of them has this kind of danger where the sort of brush or, you know, the eucalyptus trees, the chaparral, whatever that sort of surrounds the properties, those items, those things are on fire now. So again, it's really quite remarkable. But all they can do is put water on it, and all this man can do is just stand by. I'm looking at him, and he's looking quite a bit lost, frankly. But what are you going to do? I mean, nobody's telling him to leave. I would tell him to leave, but he's not going anywhere. So that's what we have here.
Such devastation and despair. I feel so sorry for him, and what a beautiful property we've seen. You know, all the patio furniture that has been lost, the bike rack that you can make out the skeleton, if you will, of the bikes that went up in flames. Very, very sad to see. And again, at least 20 homes have been destroyed by the mountain fire. Now, let's talk about the power outages that are being experienced right now in this area. So here's a map of the power outage information from Southern California Edison. The orange represents power warning shutoff, so those are just warnings. The black, and there's a whole lot of black, and the outlining of the black, that is where the power has been shut off. So if you're watching us, hopefully, you know, you are not in danger. Hopefully you are also heeding the calls, because there are plenty of mandatory evacuations. But you see just how widespread this high wind warning event is, and also the mountain fire. It started about 5 hours ago as a small brush fire. Now it's grown to 9,000, close to 9,000 acres, and it's very much wind-driven. Stu Mandela's up in Sky.
All right, you're just listening in there to our Fox 11 crew detailing the latest with this mountain fire as it burns over 8,000 acres in that area in Southern California. And of course, we're following the latest with this as it just grew very, very quickly. A post here from the Ventura County Animal Services talking about Ventura County Fairgrounds open for large animal evacuation. We're hearing an update from them as well on social media, on platforms, saying 54 animals have already been brought into our care for safekeeping from that mountain fire. Of course, you see 7 dogs, 5 cats, 2 rabbits, and 2 birds as well, including 25 horses. All right, we're following the latest with this here on Live Now from Fox, and that's what we